Sweet children, only by your having yoga will the alloy in you souls be removed. You will then receive your full inheritance from the Father. So you have to become pure first, then you can receive inheritance. Therefore, increase your power of yoga as much as possible, because through yoga, your sins are absolved, you become pure. Question: the actions of the deities were elevated, so why have everyone's actions now become corrupt? Because they have forgotten their original religion, purity. Because of forgetting their religion, dharma, their actions, karma, that they perform are corrupt. Father gives you the understanding of your true religion. Together with that, he also tells you the history and geography of the whole world, which you have to relate to everyone else. So give everyone the true introduction of the Father, so they can uplift their karma and change their dharma, remember their dharma, and change their karma. Song: look at your face in the mirror of your heart, O soul. Om Shanti. Who said this and to whom? The Father said this to you children, whom he is making pure from impure. You children know that the people of Bharat, who were deities, have now completed their cycle of 84 births, and having gone through the stages of Sato Pradhan, Sato, Rajo, and Tamo, have now become Tamo Pradhan. The Father, who now purifies the impure, says, ask your hearts to what extent you have become charitable souls. At first, when you were called deities, you were pure and Sato Pradhan souls. That was called the original eternal deity religion. None of the people of Bharat call themselves those of the deity religion now. There is no Hindu religion, and because they have become impure, they cannot call themselves deities. In the Golden Age, the deities were pure. It was the pure family path. Just as the king and queen were pure, so too were the subjects. The Father reminds the people of Bharat, you who belong to a pure family path belong to the original eternal deity religion. That was called heaven. There was just the one religion there. The number one empress and emperor were Lakshmi and Narayan. There, it was their dynasty, and Bharat was very wealthy. That was the Golden Age, and they then went into the Silver Age. Even at that time, they were called worthy of worship deities, then warriors. First was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan, and then there was the kingdom of Ram and Sita. Remember, those names, deities and warriors, were invented by Copper Age souls, right? Deities didn't call themselves deities, and certainly warriors wouldn't call themselves warriors because nobody fought even in Silver Age. First was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan, then there was the kingdom of Ram and Sita. There was that dynasty too. Just as amongst the Christians, there were Edward the First, Edward the Second. So it was the same in Bharat. It's a matter of 5,000 years. That is, it used to be the kingdom of Lakshmi Narayan 5,000 years ago in Bharat. However, no one knows how or when they attained their kingdom. That same Sun Dynasty kingdom then became the Moon Dynasty. This was because whilst taking rebirth, they had to come down the ladder. No one knows this history and geography of Bharat. The Father is the creator, and so he must definitely be the creator of the Golden Age New World. The Father says, children, 5,000 years ago, you went to heaven. This Bharat was heaven, and you then went to, then you went to hell in a handbasket on a people leaf. The world doesn't know the history and geography of this world. They only know the incomplete history of the end. No one knows the history and geography of the Golden and Silver Ages, right? They think such and such a dynasty was 1,000, 3,000, 5,000 years before Christ. Papa says that's all there is in time in the cycle, so you have to believe. So they obviously got their dates wrong if you believe what God says is the truth. They only know the incomplete history of the end. No one knows the history and geography of the Golden and Silver Ages. Even the Rishis and Munis used to say, we do not know the creator or the beginning, middle, and end of creation. How could anyone else know? The Father sits here and explains to only you. Only in Bharat does Shiv Baba take a divine birth, which is also celebrated as the birthday of Shiva. After the birthday of Shiva, there has to be the birthday of the Gita. Then together with that, there has to be the birthday of Sri Krishna. However, the people of Bharat don't know the significance of this birthday or when the birthday of Shiva was. Those of other religions will very quickly tell you when the birthday of Buddha or Christ was. Ask the people of Bharat when the birthday of Shiva was, and no one will be able to tell you. So they can't even remember that there was a celebration of Shivratri way, way back. So they don't know when it began. So that same false memory that can't remember that is why there are breaks in the gap of recorded history. As further you go back, the less was recorded. And some of it is only based on finding archaeological artifacts, which they carbon date. So if your only guess is a carbon date, and then you do everything according to that artifact you found, you'll be out thousands of years, right? Those of other religions will very quickly tell you when the birthday of Buddha or Christ was. Ask the people of Bharat when the birthday of Shiva was. No one will be able to tell you. Shiva came in Bharat. No one knows what he did when he came. Shiva is the father of all souls. Not all souls are imperishable. A soul sheds a body and then takes another. This cycle is of 84 births. In the scriptures, they have written tall stories about 8.4 million births. The Father comes and tells you the right things. However, apart from the Father, all the things they say about the Creator and creation are lies, because this is the kingdom of Maya. First of all, when Bharat was the land of divinity, you had divine intellects. There were golden palaces studded with diamonds. The Father sits here and tells you the secrets of the Creator and the beginning, middle, and end of creation. That is, he tells you the history and geography of the world. The people of Bharat don't know that they were deities at first. They have now become impure, poverty-stricken, and irreligious. The most irreligious time. Least people believe in any kind of religion, never mind God. They have forgotten their own religion, which is why we know, because they're examples and what the religions are doing, not what they're saying, what the religions are doing, completely a double standard to what the religion says. And we know that that starts here, right? Confluence age Brahmins. There's no bigger double standard than the Brahmins today who are giving the message. One generation is giving that message, and the ones today are not practicing that message. So therefore, that is the seed of how at this time also everyone has lost any faith or respect for religion. The people of Bharat don't know that they were deities at first. They have now become impure, poverty-stricken, and irreligious. They have forgotten their own religion. This had to happen according to the drama. The history and geography of the world has to enter your intellects. The highest and high is the Father of all souls who resides in the soul world. So history and geography has to enter your intellects, but nobody has the accurate history and geography. So therefore, no one knows how much time there is in the drama and how close we are to the end. The highest and highest, the Father of all souls who resides in the soul world. Then there is the subtle region. This is the corporeal world. Only Brahma, Vishnu, and Shankar reside in the subtle region. There is no other history or geography relating to them. They have no recorded history of Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar acting on earth. There are these three floors. God is one, and his creation is only one, and this cycle continues to turn. You have to go from the golden age to the silver age, and then you go to the copper and iron ages. There has to be this calculation of 84 births, which no one knows. This is not mentioned in any of the scriptures either. Only you children play parts for 84 births. The Father doesn't enter this cycle. Only the children become impure from pure. This is why they cry out, "Oh, oh, Baba, come and purify us once again." Everyone calls out to the one, capital O. We have all become unhappy in the kingdom of Ravan. Come and liberate us. Take us to the kingdom of Ram. For half of each cycle, it is the kingdom of Ram, and for half the cycle, it is the kingdom of Ravan. The people of Bharat are first pure, and then they become impure. They begin to become impure when they go onto the path of sin. And bhakti is created on the path of sin, so bhakti itself is already a sin. It's just less sin than everything else that's going on. So hence religions have been sinning from their very inception. That is when the path of devotion begins. You children are now being given this knowledge. Through this, you claim your inheritance of happiness for half the cycle for 21 births. The reward of this knowledge continues for half the cycle. Then there's the kingdom of Ravan, and you continue to come down. You were in the divine kingdom, and then you went into the devilish kingdom. This is called hell. You were in heaven, then having taken 84 births, you've now ended up in hell. That was a land of happiness, and this is a land of sorrow. It is 100% insolvent. You've been around the cycle of 84 births from being worthy of worship. Those same people of Bharat then became worshippers. This is called the history and geography of the world. This whole cycle is of you people of Bharat, particularly. Those of the other religions do not take the full 84 births, so it's only about them in general. They don't exist in the Golden Age. There was just Bharat in the Golden and Silver Ages. There were those of the Sun Dynasty, and then the Moon Dynasty, and then the Merchant Dynasty, and then the Shudra Dynasty. You've now become part of the dynasty of Brahmins in order to become those of the deity dynasty. These are the clans of Bharat. By becoming Brahmins, you now claim your inheritance from Shiv Baba. The Father is teaching you exactly as he did 5,000 years ago. You become pure and then impure, cycle after cycle, nothing new. You go to that land of happiness and then come into the land of sorrow. Then you have to go to the land of peace. This is why it's really crucial to understand identical repetition, because people in general would say, yeah, and next cycle I'll also become pure. No, because that's an impure attitude, right? So you have to be completely pure, even in attitude. So if you think that you are going to get another chance to become pure, you're being deceived because you don't even recognize that your attitude of not wanting to become pure now when God comes is impure. Then you have to go to the land of peace. That is also called the incorporeal world. No human being knows what a soul is or what the supreme soul is. A soul is a star, a point. It is said that a tiny point sparkles in the center of the world. It is a tiny point that can only be seen in divine vision. In fact, it cannot be called a star because a star is very big. It is just that they appear to be tiny because they are far away. This is just an example that is given. A soul is as tiny as the stars that are visible in the sky. The soul of the Father is also a point. He is called the Supreme Soul. His praise is separate. Because he is the sentient seed of the human world tree, he has all the knowledge. You souls are also now receiving this knowledge. The soul imbibes this knowledge. A part of 84 births is recorded in such a tiny point. It's also imperishable. You've continued to go around the cycle of 84 births. There cannot be an end to this. There were deities. They became devils, and they have to become deities once again. This cycle has to continue to turn. All the rest are biplots. All the other scenes and dramas in the cycle are biplots. The Islamists and the Buddhists, etc., don't take 84 births. This golden age was righteous and solvent in Bharat. That is just huge to understand that. This is why I tell you, you have to stop projecting Brahmin understanding, Brahmin knowledge, Brahmin statuses, Brahmin effort on souls who did not come from the first half. And you even have to do that if you're golden age in projecting it onto those who are silver age. You set the standard, they understand the standard, otherwise they wouldn't even be silver age. But you can't dislike them because they won't follow Baba Srimat. That is what happens to silver age souls, right? This golden age was righteous and solvent in Bharat. Then, having gone through 84 births, they have become vicious. This is a vicious world. Where there was purity, peace, and prosperity 5,000 years ago, there was purity, peace, prosperity 5,000 years. The Father reminds you, children, that the main thing is purity. That is why they call out, oh, one who makes vicious ones viceless, come. Only he can grant salvation, and that is why only he is the Satguru. You are now being changed from beggars into princes by the Father. That is, you are changing from ordinary man into Narayan and from ordinary woman into Lakshmi. This is your Raj Yoga. Bharat is now receiving the kingdom from the Father. This soul takes 84 births. The soul studies through the body doesn't study. The soul carries those sanskars. I, this soul, study through this body. This is known as being soul conscious. When a soul separates from the body, then the body is of no use. The soul says, I am now becoming a charitable soul. People become body conscious and say, I am doing this. You now understand that you are souls and that your bodies are
Big, huge.
large. I, this soul, am studying with Supreme Soul, the Father. The Father says, constantly remember me alone. You were Sattva Pradhan in the Golden Age, and alloy was then mixed into you. Because alloy was mixed into you, from being pure, you have now become impure. You now have to become pure once again. That is why it is said, as you know you have to become pure again, because you're suffering so much. It is said, you're confused in so much confusion, said, O purifier, come and purify us. The Father advises you, O impure souls, remember me. Okay, so this is the big picture that everybody forgets. If you remember that one, God has come to purify you, this is the only time you can become pure, and you ask God to come and purify you, you cannot complain about one aspect of Brahman life, because this is the way you have to become pure, even if it is having to struggle and suffer, experiencing your own weaknesses within your sanskars. That's also necessary. So why are you complaining? You should love your Brahman life if your aim was to become pure. So what happens? Brahmins forget that their aim is to become pure, and they get trapped into the circumstances, the body conscious present. And so then they get worn down. And instead of being able to take responsibility for why they feel weak, they complain or project or make excuses. The Father advises you, O impure souls, remember me, your Father, and your alloy will be removed, and you will then become pure. This is called ancient yoga. That alloy will be burned away by having this remembrance. That is in the fire of yoga. The main thing is to become pure from impure. Sages and holy men, etc., are all impure. Only the Father shows you the way to become pure. Constantly remember me alone. Become pure in this last birth. Whilst eating, walking, and moving around, constantly remember me alone, because I am the beloved of all of you souls. I have made you pure, and you then became impure. Or you could add, I have made you pure the exact same way countless times, and you have become impure countless times the exact same way. All devotees are lovers. The beloved says, you may perform actions, but make your intellect continue to remember me, and your sins will be absolved. This is the effort that you have to make. Therefore, you should remember the Father in order to claim your inheritance. Those who remember him a great deal will receive
Greater inheritance.
a greater inheritance. This is the pilgrimage of remembrance. Those who remember me more will become pure and then become the garland around my neck. There is a genealogical tree of all souls created in the incorporeal world. That is called the incorporeal tree. The tree is so large, souls come here to play their parts. All souls are actors in this drama. Souls are imperishable, and their parts are also imperishable. You cannot ask when this drama was created. It continues eternally. There's no beginning, there's no end. When was it created? Useless question. The people of Bharat first have happiness, and then they have sorrow, and then they have to go to the land of peace. The Father will then send you to the land of happiness. Whatever effort each of you makes, you receive a status accordingly. The Father is establishing a kingdom. You will all claim a status in the kingdom according to the effort you make now. So you can see why, if you're unwilling to transform, or it's not your first and foremost aim to become pure, you will not like the cycle. Or because you don't like the cycle, that's why you can't create the aim to become pure. Okay? Because you say you want unlimited time to become pure, or more time to become pure. Baba says there's only this one birth in the confluence age to become pure. You have to do it or you don't do it ever. And people don't like the uh, absoluteness of that. In the Golden Age, there will definitely be fewer human beings. The tree of the original eternal deity religion is small. All the rest will have been destroyed. The original eternal deity religion is being established. That is, the gates to heaven are being opened. 5,000 years ago, too, heaven was established after this war, this upcoming war. All of the innumerable religions were destroyed. That was called the benevolent war. Now the gates of hell are open. Whereas the gates to heaven will open then. The Father opens the gates to heaven, and Ravan opens the gates to hell. The Father gives you your inheritance, and Ravan then curses you. The world does not know these things. I explain these things to you, children. Even the education minister wants the unlimited knowledge that only you can give. Wouldn't it be good if we gave the education minister knowledge? Then he could come up with a better curriculum. It would be so good. We could change what they teach in the schools. However, you are incognito. No one recognizes you. You are claiming your kingdom with the power of yoga. You know how Lakshmi and Narayan claim their kingdom. This is called the auspicious benevolent age when the Father comes and purifies everyone. Not everyone would call Sri Krishna Father. Only the incorporeal one is called the Father. Remember that one Father, and also become pure. You definitely have to renounce the vices. Bharat was the viceless land of happiness. It's now a vicious land of sorrow and worth not a penny. This is the play of the drama which your intellects have to imbibe, and you also have to help others imbibe. Acha, mite sekiladi bacho prati mat pita bap dada ka yad pyar. Oh, good morning. Ruhani bap ki, Ruhani bacho ko namaste. Or
Rohani bachcho ki, Rohani baap ko namaste.
whatever you're going through, don't you just feel better having heard Baba's Murli? Essence for Dharna. Number one, become pure by having remembrance and become the garland around the Father's neck. Even whilst doing everything, stay in remembrance of the Father. Become pure by having remembrance and become the garland around the Father's neck. Even whilst doing everything, stay in remembrance of the Father and become a conqueror of sinful actions. Okay, instead of analyzing your Maya, why don't you just go into remembrance? Obviously, you're not experiencing any remembrance, and so it doesn't come to your mind. But that is the only solution. You have to choose to remember Baba, have an experience, and stop thinking about your vices. Because the power of remembrance will strengthen your will. Churning and understanding every last detail of your vice is not going to make you stronger. It'll make you weaker. Why? How can churning your vices make you weaker?
I was just gonna say, it brings them deeper and deeper into your awareness so that you're kind of sitting with them too much.
But the essence of it is because you're churning them in body consciousness. So what's the point? Of course, they can only get stronger.
You're not doing it as a detached observer with Baba.
You're not soul conscious. You're not doing it with Baba. So why are you doing that? Right? So then you do that to say, oh, I'm making effort, but there's no effort in that because you have no determined thought to imbibe it. So it doesn't matter what solution you come up with. None of them are going to work. Only transformation happens on the basis, he said, of remembrance. 2, make full effort to become a charitable soul, punya atma, renounce body consciousness, and become soul conscious. Blessing. May you be master, knowledgeful, and powerful by keeping the eye of your intellect clear and careful. Oh, here we go. Astrologers can forecast any calamities that are to come with their knowledge of astrology and the omens. So what good is that if you don't know how to stay stable and remember God? Similarly, you children can know in advance about the test papers that are to come from Maya. So all of you have this ability to be Trikaldarshi. Are you using it? Probably not, but you could know. Even astrologers can know that. It's no big deal, he's saying. So in order to pass with honors, make the eye of your intellect clear and careful. And then, of course, clear and careful means you're Trikaldarshi. Day by day, increase your powers of remembrance and silence. So get so detached that you just don't have interest. But really, some people, instead of trying to force disinterest, they just become silent and things begin to change. Day by day, increase your powers of remembrance and silence, and you will know in advance on which day something is about to happen. If your mind is stable and clear, pure, you can know what's going to happen in the future and when. Be master, knowledgeful, and powerful, and you will never be defeated. So if that is true, you see the dishonesty of I didn't know. I can't understand. I don't know the solution. It's too difficult. What do you mean? He's saying if you would just still your mind, you could know what's going to happen, and you could then prepare for that. So what is this? Every time you are shown a weakness in yourself, you give excuses for it. I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't think of it. Oh. That's fundamentally dishonest, isn't it? Because the only truth is what?
You do know.
Of course you know. The reason you feel you don't know is because
You became unaware. You allowed yourself to become unaware.
you became unaware, therefore you could not stabilize in
Soul consciousness, remembrance.
silent remembrance. You emphasize silence. Silence and remembrance. That's the only thing you should say. I wasn't in good yoga. That's why I made the mistake, and I didn't remember or come to know. It didn't enter my awareness because I was in body conscious. Slogan: purity is newness, and its foundation, and it is the foundation of this knowledge. Everything comes back to purity. So that's why purity is first, even before power. Purity is the basis of your power. And power is the basis of your faith. But of course, upgrading your purity and your power is coming on the basis of knowledge. Slogan: purity is newness, and it is the foundation of this knowledge. I'll get signal. Having sweetness in your behavior and an attitude of unlimited disinterest in your mind, when you are aware of both of these, remember, being aware of one virtue is one thing, but not knowing its relevance to other virtues, then you don't fully understand that virtue. Having sweetness in your behavior and an attitude of unlimited disinterest in your mind, when you are aware of both of these, you will be able to pass with honors. Sweetness in your expression, disinterest in your mind. That's kind of detached and loving. By especially imbibing sweetness and humility, you will constantly be a world benefactor. You will constantly be a world benefactor, a great donor, as well as a bestower of blessings. Sweetness and humility allows you to become a world benefactor, great donor, and bestower of blessings constantly. You'll then easily be able to give the proof of love. You will then easily be able to give the proof of love. Om Shanti.